So our next guest is Chris Cornelius, of the Milwaukee-based studio Indigenous, and his installation Ukami can be seen out in front of the First Christian Church, to the side of First Christian Church.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for waking up and joining us this morning. I think that without getting into too much politics in good company conversation, I think there is a conversation that sort of needs to be had with your background, which is involved in your work, being Oneida, your history being at UVA, which has been in the news a great deal. The fact we're in a town called Columbus, and then the fact that you built a project that is maybe influenced or informed by Native American ideas. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about sort of where you think your project fits into the, is it monument, memorial, icon, symbol?
Sure.
I mean, I'm throwing a lot of things out there.
Yeah.
I think you can just sort of let's have that conversation about what it means to build a Native American.
Those are excellent questions, very excellent questions, because first of all, I think that the fact that I was selected as a Miller Prize finalist is significant to me because it meant that it was important to the people who exhibit Columbus and those who made those decisions, that an Indigenous voice be part of that conversation. And that was, I think, the thing that I try to make clear in my work. The irony of the fact that this is called Columbus is not lost on me, right? I think that the most ironic thing that I've ever seen is there's a sign as you come into Columbus by the interstate that says, "Discover Columbus," right? Discover Columbus. That's just a weird thing to say, I think. So, and the fact that this is Indiana, going through the process, I wanted to do something that addressed the indigenous people of the state. This happens to be a place where that appears to have been erased very quickly, and it's very difficult to find that information. I think a lot of people aren't aware of the people that were indigenous to this area. So I'm trying to raise that awareness with a piece, and I think that what I'm trying to do is to demonstrate what I think is indigenous design today. What does that mean? It doesn't mean replicating things or necessarily symbolizing things, but to understand how architecture might situate itself in nature and how it is I think a way that humans reconcile themselves to the earth. And so I'm trying to bring that conversation here, right, with that, with peace and what it actually means. The Charlottesville thing, certainly, I spent 6 years of my life there because I was there as a student and I started teaching there right after that. While it's very disturbing, it's not surprising. I think anyone that has lived in Charlottesville for a while, especially people of color, understand the context there. It's a very difficult place for people of color there, because there's the university and then there's the community and there's very different sort of views on things there. So I don't think that those people all flew into Charlottesville from somewhere. They were already there. And it's very disturbing, certainly. And I think that, to me, if there's any sort of glimmer of hope in the thing, what you see, you don't see a lot of people of color on the other side, right? There's a lot of white people that were there fighting and saying, no, this is wrong, you can't do this sort of thing. That's encouraging, because I think that, Charlottesville was a place where it's kind of conflicted, certainly. Thomas Jefferson was a conflicted person. While he wrote the Bill of Rights, he owned slaves, and so you kind of have to reconcile that. That's a difficult thing to do. It's certainly difficult for me to do because, I love UVA. My time there was life-changing, to say the least. I mean, it was really, really a time And what I found in that, I went there because of the faculty there. I didn't go there because it was a Native American expert or anything like that. I learned how to think about architecture in the way that I do there. And so that was really formative for me. So I hope that the piece kind of brings that conversation up a bit, especially in this context, that Native voices are still here, and that hopefully it's a place that gets programmed in a way that people use it however they like. But I do think that we can use it for some Native awareness program.
Has there been as a lot of people got to watch you as people were coming into town, watch you put the finishing touches on, and it was, I think a lot of the projects were, but it was particularly performative with sparks flying.
Sure, yeah.
People up in the air and like putting things down. And when I came into town, you were on site, pointing, moving, lifting things. What has been the conversation? Are people walking up and saying, "What is this?"
People, seem to be excited about it. I think our project is the one where, I've been here for almost 4 weeks now. Leading up to it, no one really knew what it was going to look like, right? Like until the 4 days that it really kind of came together. And I'm very grateful to the people at Forcia who volunteered. They put in about 600 hours of time in 4 days. I mean, they were phenomenal. They are excellent craftsmen, complete professionals, really amazing, and they volunteered their time. There's no weekend without them. That's really significant, and that meant a lot to me, more than some big cash donation. I mean, that was really what needed to happen. So, and they got excited about the project. I mean, I feel like they are proud of it, and I think that they should be. So, a lot of people ask what it is. And, some people can say that it might look like a teepee or something like that, but I think that's a good thing in the sense that I feel like I've been a bit successful because it looks like a native dwelling. That's really what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to replicate that, but I'm trying to replicate the methodology or way of thinking about architecture that would make that happen. So that's what what I tried to do. So I think there was certainly a lot of drama in the last 4 days of the project when things started to really happen. And I did an Instagram live thing one of the nights before when the sparks were flying. As soon as the sparks started flying, all the hearts started coming up.
I was there.
So people were excited about it. So
yeah. Well, I think that's a great positive place to start. But thank you. I think it's going to be. It's impressive, It's like a big, amazing thing. It's awesome. So thanks for taking the time, waking up early, or coming, and we'll see you out there.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Thanks a lot.